Good morning, everyone. We got a bit of a flip-flop going on here after that jobs report. More indecisive action. S&Ps I see come back here a little bit. Yep, they're up above the highs here. So it's a slow grind, very slow grind, I guess, toward that resistance area until proven otherwise. And we talked about the slowing momentum here and getting better, Stephen. Thank you. Distance between the highs here. It pulled back the support where buyers had to step up, and they did. It's moving up here a little bit. And so on a day-by-day basis, our first reference point of support is the prior day's high. And with that, we always got to look at, well, what is the prior day's? The prior day's low is the first point of support. Since this is an uptrend, we're focused on support. Of course, we want to see a prior day's high taken out when it's in an uptrend. But as we look at that bar, let's just say it was yesterday, and we said, like we were dealing with this day, we say, okay, the prior day's low is the first reference point of support. Yeah, it is. But breaking that support wouldn't be that significant because it's an hour range bar. The next level of support is pretty close at hand, whereas yesterday's, I wouldn't call it a range expansion bar. It's wider than these 2 days bars, but it doesn't jump out at me as something that's like a kind of a wow, like this one here. It's quite a bit larger. It suggests it should go up the next day. And not that this one doesn't, but it didn't take out the prior day's high on a closing basis. Nonetheless, it's more bullish than the prior 2 days. And pre-market, things are up here, a little bit erratic. And it looks like, unless it immediately fails, you just see where this is on the hourly chart. 442.5. Yeah, gapping above there. And you can see the retest pattern. So you've got, 2 highs there. It's 442.5 coming down into here. Buyers should want to give it a try. Some kind of continuation pattern coming back in here and a continuation pattern higher. And of course, it's always higher to where? Well, I don't know if we can get up here today. Line that over here so we can see it on our daily chart. Just above 430. And I haven't looked at SPY today. And we got to go out to the next week's monthly expiration. There's open interest at 430. Out to next week. I don't know about today. 430. Yep. Well, 420, 428. Oh, there's a big cluster there. Expiring today between 423. So it 424, 425. It could get some fireworks going if it hangs up there. So it's up here. It's right up there. If it can hold that, based on those options that are expiring today, those call options, that could ignite a push up to 430. Let's keep that in mind. Right? It should not go below today's low, yesterday's low, which is 416.79. First reference point of support. Look at the futures. Decent. Moving up above there. Got a ways to go. SPX. So the downside is just at yesterday's, well, it's not even, it's in it's in the area of inside the bar. So the downside is too damn close. Is there juice at 4180? No, there's nothing there, Jake. Unless you go out to next week. It's only 25 cents at 35 cents. At 41.95. Well, even that's gone down. That's gone down since I started talking. 4,200 is doable. That's kind of close. Whereas to get to 4,280, even with what I said, I think that would be a stretch. It is a Friday. I'd let it run a bit and see, for the first 5 or 10 minutes, since it's moving up as I'm speaking. Back here, since it is moving up, if this can continue to go, probably within the first 15 minutes, I'm not filling in. Well, anywhere up above 4,280. You can see the red area here up on that chart. The markets should take off, continue to move up at the open. Just look up in this area. This is resetting. Other markets, Q's initially went down. Yeah, they're flipped back down here. So it's not uncommon for what has been outperforming to start to underperform. And it's come off of the low, it came down here. What was that little support area there to the left? And it bounced up. So showing some relative weakness. It's not up at that resistance area, but I showed yesterday that the NASDAQ composite is up at its resistance area. So maybe some other stocks can lead up, but look, this market is closer to running out of gas just based on their distance to resistance areas. And, looking at, the other markets, which are just, terrible looking charts, just flip-flopping back and forth. Just terrible, day to day strength and weakness, the transports, just terrible looking chart. The Dow, just up there yesterday with everything else, but then in a downtrend, holding these levels for now. It's Bitcoin not doing nothing. Oil had a good day. Some oil stocks had some pretty damn good days. They're in downtrends. They're messy, but definitely something to start keeping an eye on. That oil had a decent day yesterday, and these oil stocks, doing retest patterns, and getting these wide range bars. They're not above those pivot highs. It's not like they're, something to jump right in, but these are definitely could be, with that kind of price action, time to keep an eye on these oil related stocks. You see OIH, it's down there on that pivot low and having a green day. So there was definitely some good buying in energy yesterday. keep an eye on that going into next week. Gold had its little move up. Silver, same thing, coming up into a sell area. We'll see if this pulls back. And of course, we have to keep an eye on what the dollar is doing. Well, look at that. I don't know if that's looks like a bad tick, but the euro did flip back up. See the pound. So if we do see the dollar continue to deteriorate, what we should see happen is this turn into a continuation pattern. So you see this turn green, it hasn't really pulled back. I would have rather it pulled back further. And it didn't, but now that it's doing this and the dollar's pulling back, if we could get a continuation pattern into next week, gold could be a buy. Right. So a continuation pattern, while this is broken down, a bullish continuation pattern with this bullish reversal on the weekly would be a good combination. This pulled back further. I like it better. So here it could be a continuation pattern. I'm going to want a wide range expansion bar or maybe a retest of this low to be long silver. That's just not ready yet. Interest rates not doing anything here. Getting any messages from there? They've all went up and pulled back. We'll see which way they go. They pulled back enough to where buyers should want to step up. So I think probably going to have to wait until next week to get some insight as to what interest rates are going to do. And the sentiment is still, I got that fixed up. It had some erroneous data from the day, the Monday that was off. So internals really not giving us any clear messages yet. Breath picked up a little bit here, and this is just kind of hugging the bottom of those bands. So some upward momentum into the beginning of next week and getting closer to the monthly options expiration is usually the timing of, maybe internals into an options expiration where things come together for something more significant to happen in this grinding type of a market. And we'll see how that unfolds into next week. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Thanks, Rocco. Yeah, we did. We did 3 naked puts yesterday into earnings on beautiful patterns. Let's take a look at those. And this is the way we teach. If you want to do a speculative into earnings, this was a climactic buy setup on volume. And I gotta go, let me see how far away we went on this thing. We did the 140 puts. I mean, look at this, folks. Look at this weekly chart. What are the odds of this going this far after it already being down from 202? So that's gapping up. We got a home run trade there. Now I'm just going to let mine expire worthless. I don't even feel like paying a penny in commissions. But if you want 0 assignment risk, and how can you ever get assigned if it expires out of the money? The answer is there's only one possible reason, and it would have a big adverse gap after the market, and the option holder made a manual exercise notice. But with it being this friggin' far out of the money, that's why I said it's a choice. It's up to you. I'm just telling you, bid a penny if you want 0. MDB, we did the 225s. Look at this horizontal line. Are you kidding me? That's gapping up to 370. Man, that's a big gap. Finally, we did Lulu. Same kind of as 5 FIVE climactic buy setup. We did the 280s. Look at that, 280s are below this. It's $10 under this 290. And there was premium down there. We sold these Lulus, we sold for 90 cents a share. So yeah, good job on all of those. Let's check out these other gappers and whatever else is on my watch list. All right, this was just not a good pattern for me. Abgo, it was a Climo, but I would have favored a call spread over the high, and there just wasn't enough juice way the heck up there. Now it's gapping down to 780. Still, you know, it's a wide trading range. DC on YouTube is saying, would MDB be a good call spread candidate? 0 DTE. And the answer is it's better being a novice gap. Now, this one I would not call novice gap because it's from bullish consolidation, but I call it an excessive gap. I mean, do the math. $76 gap. Come on, that's monster. So yes, I would say. So what's my strategy now? Put it in a 5-minute window and look for a bearish setup. See if the options are liquid. Check your out of the money strike price and see if there's a premium worth the risk. So there you have it, DC. That's how we trade these. All right, let me get Jose here asking about a couple real quick. EVAX, yeah, it's at the top of the range, but sure, I like the weekly also. EVAX, ACHC, never heard of that. Not crazy about that one. It's in a trading range and you got a lot of resistance to the left. SITC, same. Target, yeah, we did a put spread on this, but yeah, you could trade yesterday's high for a 1 to 2 day bounce, whatever. I just had a BHC alarm go off. And this is kind of a cup and handle. Oh, that's got, I see one print there at 850. That's what's sending that alarm off. And finally, ZTS. Yeah, beautiful turn. Beautiful turn at the 200 and major support, end of day base. So yeah, that one looks really good. That one looks better than target because it's a more potent turn on support, on volume with an end of day base. So that looks fantastic. I'm gonna put that here in the bottom right. I had a beautiful bottoming pattern here. I saw a ripping this morning. But it's up too much now, 528. But this was a nice bottoming pattern. You get the 20 and the 50 curling, and you closing breakout with a price wood. That's kind of a one-line recipe for bottoming pattern. VMware 132, no pattern, but this would be a 0 DTE call spread over 135, this end of day base, provided it can't bounce. Dell gapping down, same, like 47, 0 DTE if there's any juice. Coup, I don't see a gap. Zulu Sierra up a bunch, no pattern. It's going to delete you. IoT 2280, gaps too big. We talked about GWRE gapping down to 77. That's a pretty big gap, so I doubt you're going to get any juice. But maybe if buyers step up and takes out a 30-minute high, then it's a 0 DTE put spread. And this gapping down to 68, that would be a call spread idea if it can't bounce. Remember we were joking about Sears yesterday? Yes. That is getting whacked. Man, I know nothing about this company, but the gap is so excessive that I want to see if it'll bounce. Asian is extended, but it's acting bullish. CHPT. Now, had this open flat, I would have said buy over yesterday's high, but gapping down, so no pattern. Papa Delta, that's a nasty gap. Look, when I got to go to my weekly chart, I mean, there's no pattern. We'll come back to it. NX 2150. There you go. There's a gap breakout. I like that one. I'll put that on the window. November X-ray. I just had an alarm go off on Big Z. I've been watching this for a couple days. Nice 3-bar consolidation in the upper part of this. I see one print at 759. We'll come back to you. Zoom Z. I can't tell where it's gapping, but I remember saying yesterday that if this opens flat, then to short it. And that is ugly. Ugly daily, weekly, monthly downtrend. So I can't see a gap. Putting that in a window looks great as a short. Tilius. That's a nasty gap. Come back to it. These are just leftover items from yesterday. Here, look at these phone stocks. Gap into this prior low. So this is following a climactic buy setup. So I'm curious to see what buyers do around this $15 level. I'm actually going to put that in the window. T could, possibly, we just have scenarios to say, okay, well, let's see if XYZ comes to fruition. And possibly it'll bobble around here and give us a double bottom. Yeah, Amazon talking about its own cell service for Prime. Interesting. That's a beast. I mean, they like the news right now. You never know how much a stock goes up on an individual news versus just the whole sector going up. It's impossible to know. All right, Verizon 30. Verizon's even worse. Man, look at daily, weekly, monthly. That's not good if you own Verizon. Yeah, look at this LI here. This is what we call a bull flag. Here's my flagpole. Here's my 30-degree counter trend consolidation. And now it's gapping up. So let's watch that on a pullback. Particularly, we saw Zulu could be a put spread idea. Same with Redfin. This is kind of a bull flag too. You can see a daily, weekly flagpole. UCard. I was watching this yesterday. This thing used to be $73. And it's a Chinese EV company. Yeah, there's TMOS 120. Wow, that's an ugly gap under the AT&T is the only one gapping to major support. These other ones are getting whacked. If you're on the board of director of one of these 3 companies, I have a funny feeling you will be summoned into an emergency meeting today. All right, we did a core long on UPST right here, and we actually sold calls, and we got assigned, I think, $24-25, I forget, but it's bullish. It was a core. Look at that monthly. We nailed the entry of that core multiple time frames. And I've been watching it to try to get back on board, but look at this mess. It's not being cooperative of giving me a good entry. All right, so D-backs, yes, somebody pre-market mentioned that. That was Jose La Link Lab, Lincoln Baba, $80 calls. Yeah, we mentioned this in the green room yesterday, a potent reversal. I was looking to sell puts on this, but there was not good premium. But yeah, it's on my list up here somewhere. So yeah, we sold a put spread on Fizzler yesterday. My up alarm just went off. Bill, we sold a put spread. My up alarm just went off. Market coming out of the gate here in a bullish mood. Wow, tick 1400. Advancers decliners 1850. Man, the bulls are coming out slinging here. Setting new alarms on Bill. Mara, we entered yesterday. Naked puts. Doing nothing. Shack, I posted as a long over yesterday's high, but the gap. Let's wait for a gap fill. VMC also, we can do into a gap fill. And then Mountain also, like I said, VMC Shack. What's Mountain doing? My alarm didn't go off on Mountain. Maybe that's because I didn't set one yet. Mountain 248.11. Oh yeah, I did. So it didn't trigger yet. All right, so that's good. XLY. We have this long in the ETF letter. That's a nice gap breakout. I moved stop to Wednesday's low in Telegram. XRT.
Starbucks moving today.
What?
Starbucks moving up. You're looking for that turn.
Yeah. Yeah, Expedia we were looking at yesterday. Yeah, Expedia. I said, yeah, yesterday could be the day. Target, we have a put spread, another Climo. All right, see this S I mentioned right here. So, buyers are nibbling here a little bit. Let's see. Dollar General, new low, still can't bounce. I've been watching that since the earnings gap down. This is weird. There's no weeklies, but there's no $13 puts on S. That's weird. There's 12.5s and 11s, but no 13s. Very strange. But you can't mess with a gap like that after 3 minutes. Look at Q's. Google ripping on the 15. Every FANG is in gear. Do you see a little